Madden.
Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leader in rushing, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access post-game show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Emilio in Tennessee. We got Tim in Green Bay. Getting notifications from StreamYard, random stream. Absolutely love that. Nothing better than that, just flashing across your screen. But anyway, the Packers drop a tough one. This was a barn burner too, boys. Let me tell you, 16-3. I don't know how many innings did it go. I can't even remember how many innings we played there. But nonetheless, Clayton Tune, he was tuned up, 6 of 11 for 34 yards passing, was sacked 4 times for a loss of 41 yards. So that would –
He made it out alive, though. He made it out alive.
He did make it out alive. That would put your net team passing yardage, if my calculations are correct. Carry the 3. We were -7 yards in the passing game today.
That's not bad.
Now, people see that and go, whoa, what this, you could tell – they were keeping everything as vanilla as possible. That's why earlier in the week, talked about it being this going to be like a preseason game, boys. They do not want to show anything. Now, think about it from other teams' perspectives. When they go watch the tape, they can't go to this game and watch the tape. You typically go a team's last 4 games, right, in previous 2 head-to-head matchups. So let's say you do end up playing the Bears. We'll give you the update on all that stuff here in a little bit. Let's say you go and play the Bears. The Bears will go to their last two head-to-head matchups this year, and they'll probably have to go back, not this game, not the previous game, but the game before that to see Jordan Love tape, right? So probably watch those 4 games leading up. Now, Matt LaFleur, obviously, Jordan Love knows this offense in and out, so everything's on the table. You got to make a decision. All right. Do we feel like that stuff is kind of simmered down now and teams aren't going to be looking for it? Is that what they're going to be keyed in on it? Do you completely flip the script in terms of the game plan? All those things are going to come into play. So I understand why they called the game the way they did. It's a long way of saying that, but that's how I feel about the game. Again, you dropped this 16-3. Let's go around the horn with it real quick, and then we will talk about some key injuries that occurred as well. Go ahead, Emilio. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, that's like me when I'm playing as Army Clay, in college football, and it's just hand that thing off left and right. I'll take the one time I try to throw a pass, get a sack.
Same as me, man. On casual breakthrough on Battlefield 6, just lay back with the sniper rifle, and your teammates are coming over, cussing you out and everything. Like, why ain't you helping us, bro? I'm trying to get my kill to death up. I'm trying to do my thing.
I'm trying to level up guns here, man. You gotta just leave me alone.
Work with me here, man. Work with me.
No, that's it. Cool to see, some of those guys out there at Home Depot and all that. You get to see Hopper. Sorrell was kind of cutting it up. So, I mean, just good to kind of get some film on these guys. Just move on. Past week 18, it's playoff time, baby.
Yeah, we got to – well, go ahead, Tim, with your initial thoughts, and we'll get to Josh Martin's super chat.
I was going to say I agree. I thought KT Oladapo looked pretty good in our first real look at him kind of playing in that secondary. I think he was a glimmering, shining ray of light of hope in this game today. And then Baron Sorrell, too, particularly against the run. I thought Baron Sorrell looked really good. And Nas Stackhouse played good in the middle a few times. He put some nice tape together. So it's not all doom and gloom, other than the fact that we just had to go and get Javon Bullard hurt and Bo Melton hurt in this game. But other than that, it's not all bad, right? And we knew that, the goal was the big victory would have been getting out of here healthy. And it looks like we lost that battle as well as the game today. So tough on both sides of the coin, but there were some bright spots, especially on the defensive side of the ball today. I think, holding them to 1 touchdown was pretty good. Those guys played pretty well today.
Definitely. And Rob Demoski did tweet out a little bit of an update, I guess you could say, with Javon Bullard. I don't think it's horrible news, but you guys know Javon Bullard was on the turf holding his knee, holding his leg. They went to a commercial break, took him a little while to get him off the field, but it sounded like he did walk off with help, I believe, or he walked off on his own. But Rob Demoski's original tweet said Javon Bullard's slow to get off the field. One of the few guys playing today that you can't afford to lose. And then he quote tweeted that and said later with a little bit of an update, Bullard is out of the injury tent and has his helmet in hand. Can't imagine they'd put him back in there though. Probably shouldn't have been in there in the first place. So you got a portion of the fan base that thinks, what are we doing? Sitting the starters. You should try to win this game as you go into the playoffs and create momentum. And then obviously there's people like Rob and others that are like, why was he even playing? I'm on that side personally.
Yeah.
Right? You know,
we saw Jaden Reed out there for a few snaps and I started getting nervous too. Like,
yeah,
you know,
and it truly tells you, Tim, in my opinion, that answers the question of what we've said all year in terms of Bo Melton. Why is he getting these meaningful snaps coming down the stretch? He is the backup F, right?
Yep.
Pretty much established, I think, right? I think we would all – now, Dontavion Wick's out. You know, if he's in, maybe he's the established F. I don't know. But, again, when you see him go out and in such a meaningless game they put Jaden Reed in, that tells me that there's nobody else on the roster that can play F right now, right?
Yep.
So –
I have Reed for 8 snaps on the game. Wow. So it's like, and the other thing is you have a 53-man roster, 48 can only suit up. So at some point you're going to have to play guys that have been on the team. You know, it's, you know, our O-line's still in there. You still got D-line in there, all that stuff. So yeah, it sucks that Bo was out there and that happened. You know, hate that it happened to Bo too. But you just run out of bodies, I feel like, at some point.
Definitely.
Great play by Bo Melton, though, on the one he got hurt on was an incredible special teams play.
Yep.
Yeah. So, again, it sounds like it's positive news for Javon Bullard. Him having his helmet in hand would make you think that if they needed him to go back in, if they had another injury, then he could have popped back in the game, which tells me he's probably going to be good to go for next week. Hopefully, we'll keep our eye on that as we go through this game week for sure. Ed Madden said Bull came back on the field and was flexing his knee and smiling. Okay, that's great news then. I appreciate that update there, Ed. Thank you so much. And then the other injury that we were talking about with the F receiver, Bo Melton is questionable with a knee injury. He's one of only 3 receivers who played today. Any other 3 wide receiver sets would require Dobbs, Watson, or Reed. Okay, so obviously Reed ended up coming in place of him when Melton went out. So what I imagine they had today going in was probably Matthew Golden jumping back and forth from the X to the Z. Mm-hmm. And then when they were in 12 personnel sets, that type of thing, probably had him playing the X and probably had, the others kind of rotating in at the Z and all that. So that's kind of how I feel like it went. But let's get to the super chat real quick. Josh Martin, I think, Tim, you probably agree with this one. And again, we'll keep our eye on the Bo Melton and the Javon Bullard injuries as we move forward in the week. Josh Martin with the super chat. Morgan ain't it at left tackle. We're talking about Jordan Morgan, missed blocks and penalties. What's your all's thoughts on Jordan Morgan before I give my take? How do you guys feel about what he looked like out there? Tim, you used a reference that I thought was kind of funny, but I don't know if you want to say it on the air or not.
What, when we were talking before the show?
Yeah, absolutely. It's your call if you want to.
Oh, yeah. I said he played like a wet diaper. Yeah. No. Maybe that's for my life. maybe that's being a little harsh. Because to Emilio's point, he brought up a good point. We've asked Jordan Morgan to do everything on that O-line since we drafted him, and for the first time he gets a shot at left tackle, and surprisingly enough, he doesn't look great. I mean. Mm-hmm. Did we really expect him to just look like an all-pro right away?
Right. Pre-game, I was hoping it. Heard me. I'm like, man, I was excited about like finally we'll get some meaningful reps, right, and see what he looks like at least. So yeah.
But it's tough. I mean, and really for anyone on that O-line, right? I mean, these are guys that haven't had a lot of reps where they were, other than maybe Anthony Belton, playing right guard. But you mentioned the protections, being able to call out protections, being able to communicate. That all plays into it. Your tight end, your 4th or 5th string tight end missing a chip and, leaving a blind side open. Those kind of things happen. So you can't really put everything all on Jordan Morgan. But, yeah, he did not look great out there today.
Yeah, Tim, he was top 5 offensive player, okay, but his grade at a 60.9.
Yeah.
So not terrible. I mean, just above average there. But his pass blocking 86 too. Looks like he had 18 of those snaps, besides that one where he got cooked around the corner. But like you said, we've asked him to do everything. He's been at right tackle. He's You just give him one shot at left tackle. I just want to see him. I think he's developing. I'm excited for Morgan, but not a great game. Just keep your head down, keep moving.
Yep. And thank you for that super, Josh. Appreciate you. Greg Rice says he is no Travis Glover.
Come on now. I can't wait. I can't wait.
We've talked about this with you, not on the show too, Emilio. Is like, if Travis Glover comes out next training camp and he ends up being the next great gem of an offensive lineman that we're like, wow, where did this guy come from? He's really improved. It's going to be hilarious.
I'm going back to the first episode. I'm going to have to comb through all of our shows and find that one, but I'm telling you.
We're going to get a boost in the algorithm because Emilio's going to go back and watch so many hours of our show.
Absolutely. I'm going to be flying through it.
Oh, man. Unbelievable. So, with that being said, the injuries, that's, to me, was the most important information that came out of this game, obviously, was the fact that Bullard got hurt. Oh, crap. And now it sounds like not a big deal. Bo, I'm going to try to get an update by the time the show ends here, but that's kind of the most important information in my opinion. So, Baron Sorrell, right? To me, he looked good. He flashed. And I'm trying to think, Brenton Cox Jr., I know people got excited over the strip sack. I tweeted it out and everything, and obviously Baron Sorrell recovered that. Brenton Cox Jr. didn't do anything special on that play. It's awesome that he got in the sack column, don't get me wrong, but, I mean, it's literally the quarterback not knowing the NFL rules, tripping, falling down, and then not realizing, oh, yeah, this isn't college. I'm not down, right? So that's pretty much where the sack came from. But other than that, any other bright spots that you guys noticed maybe today that you thought, this young player looked good, that young player may have looked a little better than you thought?
Like I said, KT Oladapo. Yeah. He had that batted ball at the line. I thought he was doing good playing within the scheme. We saw Hafley going zone heavy there for a while, and I think Oladapo did a good job just staying on assignment. We saw a couple open field tackles. That's a good flash in my book for a young defensive player for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Emilio, he looks big. Does he not look like a bigger player when you see Oladapo on TV?
Yeah, and they had him walking into the slot. You saw that, Clay, where he was kind of moving the linebackers back and forth, kind of adjusting. And it's not like he doesn't understand where the defense is at. He's been here for 2 years now. He's got the same kind of time and energy into it as Evan and Bull and everybody like that. So you see that, hey, he's got all that knowledge. It's just getting him the time out there on the field because they're already having a hard enough time. Hafley is trying to get Evan and Bull out there. So imagine getting that third safety in with X and all that. So glad he got a real good shot today to try to go after that. And we had, let's see, Oladapo was top 10. He was 9th with a 59-9, 66 snaps. Yeah, just snaps. So he's out there all game. Not bad for him. 72 pass rush, and then kind of, middle of the line, a little bit lower on everything else, but not bad.
I think you're right, too, about his body type, Clayton. He's a little bit of a, bigger safety, right? Almost like a tweener. You almost wonder if he could play a little stack backer in a pinch for you, for sure.
Yeah, like if you wanted to go to some kind of a hybrid front where you throw an extra DB in, right? Yep. You could mix and match there a little bit. And again, it's a very small sample size, but that's kind of
he looks comfortable playing in the box though. Like Emilio said, buzzing him down there.
Yeah,
it's comfortable.
Yeah, the only, like Coach said, the only one was that bad drop where it kind of slipped. He kind of had it in the basket and it sort of went through his hands. If he had that, get a pick on KT. Come on.
Yeah. And we got Chris here in the chat says Diggs did look like a big body out there. I thought Diggs looked fine. Made a couple good tackles. He looked pretty physical, right?
We got a snap count on him.
I do for you. 33 total snaps, top 2 on the defensive grades. He graded out at a 76-3, 66-1 run defense, 76-9 tackling, and a 76-3 coverage grade.
Let's
Not
go.
too shabby. We'll take that for a Packer debut.
Absolutely.
And keep in mind, the Vikings aren't like this strong team, right? But they were playing their starters. So
yeah. You're going against Justin Jefferson. You're going against who was Ty Felton, right, out of Maryland.
Yep.
He's speedy. He's got that double move, and you got some good coverage there.
And that's why I kind of hold back a little bit on Jordan Morgan because, like Coach Lamb was saying, that's his first game playing left tackle at the NFL level, right? And he's going up against starters. He's got Lasita Smith right next to him. All right. If you think that doesn't matter, go ask any other offensive lineman that's played the game at the NFL level, at any level, really. If you've got a backup playing beside you on the offensive line, you're getting a little bit more antsy. You don't know if they're going to help you when they're supposed to help. You don't know if you need to maybe kick down on your fan out a little bit more and help him inside. All those things matter. So that's why I'm holding back a little judgment. I was just, like I said, I want to go watch the end zone cam and actually really key in on Jordan Morgan every single rep and see how many positives, how many negatives. And if he looks more comfortable there than he does on the right side, I'd really like to kind of, take a little bit bigger look at it, I guess you could say. But
Yeah.
any other grades you want to hit on there, Amelia? I know you hit on Diggs, and I agree with what Chris said. I'm happy Diggs is a Packer. I'm excited to see what he does in the playoffs. But.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Halfley was saying in his presser, I need to be able to get him out there to see what he can do. He's the first time he's seen him sort of in person like that, up close, and let's see how well he does out there with this defense. See how he understands it. Besides that, on defense, McDuffie graded out as the highest so far, 78-4, 26 total snaps. Then it was Trayvon. Then it was Bull at 71-3, Evan at 69 flat, and Baron Sorrell at 66-4. So really, I'm happy about Sorrell. He was really putting in the grind out there. And
I think he flashed the most probably.
Yeah, Tim, doesn't he look like a machine?
He does.
And smart on some of those where you're running away from him. He cuts down the angle. He chops it down. He doesn't over pursue all those different things. Able to slide down the line, make the tackle.
Yeah, does not panic in the trenches at all when he's in the middle of the fray.
Yeah, picked up that fumble recovery. Brosmer thought it was college rules. You hit the ground. Oh, we're still playing, bud. You got to get touched.
I seen Colin Oliver with the pressure too, where he flushed J.J. McCarthy right. J.J. McCarthy thought, I can outrun him. And he actually ran him down, clipped his leg, caused him to throw off platform, and it was an incomplete pass. So that was a pressure leading to an incomplete by Colin Oliver. Do you got any numbers on him?
Yes, sir. 10th on overall grades, 31 snaps. He had a 57-9 overall. Run defense, 46-7. Tackling, 27-5. That's where he's getting cut down. Pass rush is a 58-4. And then his coverage grade is 75-7. Dropped in one time in coverage. And that's where you get that kind of tweener guy where he was maybe a little stacked, a little outside, and have that ability to drop him.
I want to say I saw a Joker 1 look with him today. Didn't they play him?
Nice.
They moved him once over there from the edge, I believe. We'll have to check the all 22, but
baby Micah, baby.
Yeah, baby Micah. You got to see some of that versatility, but I'm sure Matt didn't want to put too much of anything on tape either side of the ball today.
Yeah,
but I thought he looked good.
Yeah, definitely. Tatted like a fool. This is Jacob's Burner here with the super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Diggs reminds me of when we got Charles Woodson. I'm going to explain something real quick here. I had basically this post right here, this super chat. I had this typed out in a tweet earlier today, and I didn't have enough hair on my ass to hit send. I deleted it because Charles Woodson is a first ballot Hall of Famer, absolute, a generational talent. I think we would all agree, right? So when you throw that out there, it makes, what are you talking about?
Right.
I had the same feeling when I seen Diggs out there and the way he was moving it. I'm going, this guy does not look like he should be out there on the field right now with the backups. You know what I mean? Like you could tell. I think he's going to be probably our best corner once he gets the scheme down. Now, will he be here next year at the tune of $15 million? Will they adjust it or will they just, move on? I don't know. But I got kind of the same feeling there. Tatted like a fool had the Weibos to say it. I did not on X. But how do y'all feel about that comment there? Does it kind of feel like a little bit of – remember when we signed – because here's to Tatted like a fool's defense. When we signed Charles Woodson, there was nobody going, whoa, we got Woodson. Because this was Woodson who basically got ran out of Oakland, right? He got ran out of the Raiders organization, sleeping in meetings, didn't play hard.
Yep. And he sure as hell didn't want to come here at first.
Did not want to be here. Got into it with Coach McCarthy. One of the first practices, McCarthy had to kick him off the practice field. Like, that was, a different Woodson than what he ended up being, obviously, with the Defensive Player of the Year and eventually a Hall of Famer as well. But how do y'all feel about that comment?
That's what we were talking about on the pregame, right? You get a guy that gets a change of scenery and you get a resurgence in your career. You get better output from the player. It's more inspired play from your guy. So in that respect, I can see the similarities. I'm not going to put Diggs and Woodson in the same category until we see how this playoff run goes and how things look in the long term. But I definitely get that vibe, right? Because at first it's kind of an under the radar thing. It's like, oh, we got him off waivers. Clearly he didn't want to be down in Jerry World anymore. We're banged up. We need some depth at corner. Why not? Well, today we got a pretty good debut from him. And if he puts another performance like this together against Chicago, or Philly next week, we can start having these conversations about that type of impact, especially if we end up going on a run. you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And just being able to lean on somebody like that, Tim, got a little bit of experience. He knows Micah. They were boys. Essay was talking about how much of boys they were, and he was the first time we were talking yesterday. Hey, why you keep taking all our guys? And I'm just happy that we're giving him a shot. Right?
We're gonna get Kenny Clark back next. That's
Could
what
you imagine? I'm telling you. So,
Yeah.
But that's it, man. You just got to give him a shot, give him a chance out there. If it doesn't work out, all right, fine. What, 500,000? I mean, that's nothing, right?
Low risk, high reward potential.
Absolutely. And you have to have. Sometimes Clay talks about it all the time. Sometimes you just need a little bit of veteran in there just to help you out. What's it gonna hurt having 4 more years of experience back there? He can bounce something off half his, just get an idea and all that. So not mad at that.
Especially when you're the youngest team in the league, right? Doesn't hurt.
Absolutely.
Professor Cake says, I'm calling it now. Diggs, pick 6 next week. How awesome would that be, dude?
Let's go.
Like Al Harris just taking it to man.
That would be unfreaking believable. Mike with a super chat. Thank you so much, Mike. He said, there is no way, in my opinion, he leaves Micah. He will sign to stay. Mindset is huge. That's the vibe I got, too, when he was talking to the media the other day, because I do think the Packers are going to try to restructure that a bit and lower that cap number a touch. I think that I could see them going to him and being like, okay, let's try to shave $3 million off the bottom line, maybe $5 million off the bottom line, and we'll give you a $4 million signing bonus, like guarantee, write a check right there, bang. That's more guaranteed money for him than he had, because all the guaranteed money is already up. It's already in his pocket, and that cap charge, that dead cap charge, that stuck with Dallas. Mm-hmm. I could see him going that route. And if that's the case, with him going, okay, I'm going to make $3 million less this year, but they're going to write me a check now and I get to stay and play with Micah. I agree with what Mike says here, Tim, that I think he probably would take a deal like that. Something to that effect.
I think so too. I do. And plus, he can always call his boy Micah. Micah's got the bag. If he's a milli short or something, maybe he'll spot him a few Benjamins, hold him over. But I think you're right. A little bit of a restructure to make more sense for the team. And then, Diggs is in a position where, he knows he's going to be on a competitive roster and have a chance to go, compete for a championship and at least be a playoff team and have a nice, middle to ending part of his career. There could be a role for him long term. And, there's every opportunity here for the Packers and him to kind of just meet in the middle and make this make sense. But I think Mike's spot on here. There's a reason that he clicked, like you said, from day one since he got here, much like Micah did when he first arrived. So now you've got that chemistry. He's got some familiar faces, not just, relationship with Micah, but, his relationship with Coach Ansley,
mm-hmm.
On our staff. So a lot of reasons why I think you're right. I don't think he's going to make it real difficult on the Packers when it comes to negotiating that.
Dude, and Tim, to the relationship, he was college teammates with X at Alabama in 2017 through 19, right? You run that red Tampa 2, all those different things that Saban was kind of working, and you get that little connection back. Hey, and you already have the feeling, all right, I look over at X, he gives me one signal that we did back. It'd be like Rodgers when he goes, he gives him one look, tugs on the jersey, and there you already know, right? So
yep.
If we can get that happening on defense, I love that. And why would it hurt if we get a guy that has those kind of skills, those kind of ball skills?
It's a great point.
Jaco says, I'll say a 2-year, $13.5 million. So here's the deal with I actually did a Patreon article over in our Patreon group, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. This is his current contract structure. Diggs is okay. So if it's hard for you guys to see, I'll go ahead and lay it out there for you and kind of explain, especially for those on the pod. So this year he only counts for $470,000 for the Packers cap. Okay. Next year that cap hit will jump to $15.5 million,
mm-hmm.
but there is no dead cap attached. So when you say 2 years, $13.5 million, if you're saying guaranteed, maybe that's what you meant there. Okay, let's say that they'll guarantee $13.5 million over the next 2 to get him to, he's under contract. So it really comes down to, do you want a $15.5 million cap hit or not, right? And to me, I mean, if he's going to play like our best corner, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that cap charge next year. I am. I just think that the Packers will look for a way, like we show here, $14.5 million is base salary. You're probably going to look to convert some of that so you can kick that cap charge down the road a little bit, maybe pile it on to 2028 and then reset by the time you get there, because that will be the end of that 3-year window that we talked about. So you're going to kind of look at Jordan Love and everybody after 3 years and go, okay, let's reassess. Are we where we want to be? Did we win a championship? Are we right on the doorstep of winning a championship? Or, man, this went really, really bad. We need to kind of reset,
Right.
So,
yeah. Number one corner money. We got away with it paying what? Key six a year, something like that. And, we've been kind of living off that for a minute. And then you get, all right, Ja was 19 or something a year. So 15 wouldn't be terrible, but I think you're right. Let's, maybe some of that to signing bonus, move it around a little bit. Around 10 a year, I wouldn't be mad at if we get a, maybe a little impact in playoffs and he kind of locks himself in to the future plan. I like that.
Yeah. And when you look at his overall numbers in terms of, forget the PFF grade for a second with Trayvon, although today he had a good PFF grade, right, Emilio? You said it was in the 70s?
Oh, yes. Right? So he was the second highest, behind.
So when you look at his passer rating when targeted this year, it was bad, right? 158.3. However, look at the rest of his career: 92, 60, 87, 9, and 81. That 9 obviously was just 2 games played. When you look at the Packers cornerbacks and their passer rating when targeted this year, Javon Bullard, 95.3. Of course, he's in the slot. So you're really comping. What you're comparing Diggs to is Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine. Keyshawn Nixon's passer rating when targeted, 106.5. Carrington Valentine's 126.1. So if you took his average of 153.8, 81, 87, 60, 92, you'd say it's probably in the 80s is what he averages out to his career. That would make him the best passer rating when targeted on our entire team in terms of outside corners. So that would kind of establish him as probably the best corner we've got. Now, if he continues to play at the 158.3, that's a different ballgame. That's cheeks, and that's how he's played this year, right? So
I hope it looks more like he did today. I hope he continues to build on that type of performance, because I feel like we don't necessarily need Trayvon Diggs to be this stud star corner. We just need a guy out there that we can, like you said, his veteran presence. He's dependable. Yeah, he's going to be in the spot he needs to be in. He's not going to freelance in man coverage. He's going to play the right leverage, things like that. Being able to communicate. I'm okay with it, man. I hope he continues to build on this performance, because he looked good today for sure.
Right. And just to that, Doug was saying there, Tim, the league's moving away from big money shutdown corners that are mostly valuable in man. If you play mostly zone, what's a good shutdown corner? Yep. It's just that kind of look. It's not Revis Island anymore, right? It's not where we're just shutting down one side of the field. You got a lot of motion. You got a lot of shifts. The wide receivers aren't just staying on one side. There's so much more to it. I would be completely happy with that. And I think, if we need to put them in man, fine. We can maybe do a little half zone, half man if you want to do one of those looks here and there. But I'm totally fine with him dropping in cover 3, cover 4, playing the ball, coming downhill. He had a good tackling grade here. He had a 76.9 on the tackles just in that game. So, and that was the other thing Happy was saying. All these guys coming in here, all the guys that didn't play a lot, when was the last time they actually had a tackle drill? Preseason? Right. It's we're thumps from then on, uppers, and that's it. Yep. So you got to really, make sure you're making contact and drive through.
And again, just keep in mind that Trayvon Diggs was, by the consensus big board, ranked 30th in the draft the year he came out. And you'll notice there's some cheeks corners in this draft. Jeffrey Okudah, bust. C.J. Henderson, bust. Christian Fulton, bust. A.J. Terrell, bust. Trayvon Diggs got a second contract, pretty good payday. He's still in the league, and what we think will probably be our number 1 corner as the roster sits here on January the 4th, 2026. Jeff Gladney, bust. Jalen Johnson, solid pick there for the Bears. I think we would all agree. Even better person, too, by the way. Noah from Auburn, I'm pretty sure he was a bust. Don't know where he's at in the league. And then Damon Arnett, I'm not sure if he's still in the league as well. So when you look at those corners, the Packers went and got the best cornerback, well, probably the second best cornerback, depending on what year you want to count, because Jalen Johnson did lead the league in interceptions one year as well. He got one of the top 2 corners in that draft that year for nothing, right? Didn't have to give a pick for him. So Goody down there pulling Emilio, hitting the thrift shops. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, Clay, you don't want to get in front of me in recruiting, man. I'm telling you. I'm spinning it back there. But you go to the consensus big board, go to safeties. I'm sure you'll see X right up there too. Absolutely. You're looking back on it. We got 2 or 3 top 32 players from that draft. That's crazy.
Yeah. And we actually had talked about the other day, you went out, and I don't know how long he'll be here. He may be cut before this thing is actually live as a podcast. But you went and got Desmond Ridder, right? And we done a little bit of an article on him as well. You could tell what Goody's doing. He's kind of getting an early shot or an early jump on the offseason, signing some of these players, you know. And when it comes to Desmond Ridder, people go, "Oh, he's a bust. He's a bust." I get that. I understand. He's not played well at the NFL level, but they said the same thing about Malik Willis. Well, when they added Desmond Ridder, as you'll notice here, look where he was at. You go back to the 2022 draft class, Goody now has on his roster the top quarterback in that draft, according to the consensus big board, with Malik Willis at number 10, and then the third best quarterback at Desmond Ridder, both on the roster. It's just wild. It's wild to think.
What a quarterback class that was. Malik, Kenny Pickett, double gloves, Desmond Ridder, Matt Corral, Sam Howell, Carson Strong, like Bailey Zappi, the only dude that can spin it. He had the college football history for passing yards. I mean, that's just unbelievable, but you just don't see any of them anymore. And we have two of them. One of them we've turned into a great player, Malik.
Yep. And Jack Cohn there from Notre Dame. No, I remember people were talking about him in the draft process. I went, you don't want to do that. I watched him.
Who?
Exactly right. I wish I could say who, but I don't think he's in the league anymore. But as Coach Lynn says here, get Ridder in our system and see what happens. Daryl says Ridder has potential. So, yeah, I agree. I think that it's going to give him his best shot. Will he work out? I don't know. Like I said, he may be cut before we hit the playoffs. But if Malik Willis does walk in free agency, what it tells me is they probably had a similar grade on Desmond Ridder that they did Malik Willis in that draft. And that tells you, okay, throw him on the practice squad unless somebody poaches him and work him in. And maybe that could be Jordan Love's backup next year. Maybe Malik Willis gets the bank, gets paid this offseason, and you get another comp pick for that. And you're starting to allocate some resources going into draft season, which, Did he really?
What'd you think of Tune, Clay? Coach over here said Clayton Tune looked solid to me today.
I mean, when he wasn't getting picked up off the turf.
That's the hard part, right? I disagree with Coach. I didn't see anything with Tune, and Coach knows this way better than me. He's evaluated talent way more than me. Obviously, being a coach, I have zero coaching history. When I watched him, I wasn't impressed. But to what Tim said, very true. It's like, did he really have a shot today? I seen people dogging him over that pass, that flat pass or RPO, whatever it was, that kind of looked like it went backwards. The ball got tipped at the line. They're failing to mention that, right? It's like he never really had a shot, I don't think. So
and I have Tune here, second lowest, just above Wiley, but 51 snaps. He had a 44 flat overall grade. He had a 32.5 passing grade and a 70 run grade. So.
And what Coach Lynn was saying, like talking about him scrambling, he did show good ability scrambling with the ball for sure. Yeah. Mike with the super chat, who do you truly want next week? The Bears D, our offense needs to cook lightning in a bottle. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter who we play, in my opinion. You're going to have to play the best team if you go on a run anyway, right? That's how I always look at the play. I never look at it, not that Mike is, but I never look at it like, man, I hope we get a bad team early so we can get a win, To me, it's like, all right,
you're going to do that when you're the 7th seed.
Yeah, just go in there and just try to smack anybody in the mouth. Go find the biggest person in the room and sucker punch the hell out of them.
How did we do that against Dallas, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, good point. Feels like it was a lifetime ago, don't it?
But Mike, to your point, man.
Get ready to go.
Yeah, we want to see this look all day long next week right here.
And I'm keeping eyes on this game. It just kicked off. There's 12 minutes left here in the first quarter. Lions have the football. Again, if you're wondering what's on the line here, I got to put this up. I could just read it off, but, man, this BJ Raji picture just makes me so happy, man. Look at this guy right here. You kidding me? Looking like
That's
me.
Play after Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, right?
No, that's
after
me.
A second helping of pie, right?
That's me getting in the swimming pool on July 17th. I don't know what y'all talking about. So, playoff game in Chicago. So Packers wildcard road trip. It'll either be Chicago or Philly. Okay. So if the Bears lose, but the Eagles win, we're off the Philly. If the Bears win, we head to Chicago. So just the Bears win gets us into Chicago next week. If the Bears lose and the Eagles lose, we still go to Chicago. So essentially we need the Eagles to lose today, but they're playing the Commanders, and I can't imagine the Commanders are going to go out there and really try to put their best effort forward. They're wanting a better draft pick, right? So I think the Eagles probably win their game. I'm hoping the Bears beat the Lions because I want the Bears in the first round, not because I think they're the worst team. I think, although we would all probably agree they are not as good of a team as the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe you guys disagree there. But I just want to go in there the first round and smack Chicago in the mouth because they have ran that mouth all year long. Yep. And I do think we match up really well against them. It'd just be fun to end Chicago's season in the playoffs,
I agree. I'm with you. And I think you could give the edge maybe to Philly right now as being the better team. But, we can't front. The Bears have been on a heater. And, it is what it is. So I'm with you, Clay, though. I think it would be huge just – in the moral category of things for a team like ours that is on a 4-game losing streak heading into the playoffs banged up, it would be awesome to go into enemy territory against your division rival and bounce them out of the playoffs. That would do huge numbers for, guys' morale in that locker room, and would really that's the kind of win you would need to spark a run if you're banged up in the postseason, right? You go down there and beat, a tough divisional opponent on their own turf. That would be huge for this young team, I think.
Tim, we'd be clipping it like that Cobb touchdown, man.
Yes, sir.
That's it. I mean, and just the way that, the Bears fans are, for them to take an L in Soldier Field in the playoffs to the Packers.
Love it.
Sign me up.
Definitely. All right, so just keeping an eye on it here. I can get it on the full screen. So the Lions are marching right now. They're down to the 21-yard line, looking at about a 3rd and 3. What do you got, Amelia? What's wrong with you?
You saw that video, right, Clay? That pic reminds me of the big boy grilling on the roof MVS posted. Remember that? Grilling? Yes. Dancing. Oh, man.
Him and Kenny Clark going back and forth on social media. That was hilarious.
My favorite, though, was what was the picture he showed of Kenny Clark? Kenny Clark posted a picture of, was it CJ from the original Grand Theft Auto San Andreas?
Oh my!
Did MVS look like him, bro? Dude. They had the best rivalry going back and forth, man. So much fun.
I love those kind of roasts, man. Like casual, but just like a nice zinger. That you need that.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, the way that guy was dancing too, and didn't he just had the bibs on, but no shirt underneath.
Yeah, right? But the bib barely. It was an extra small bib.
Yeah, there was some hanging on. It was hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, there was some movement, man. So, yeah. God, I love the show, man. I hate it, but I love it. You know what I'm saying? The Lions are down inside the red zone now. They're moving the ball pretty well. Looks like the Commanders have the ball at about their own 15-yard line, roughly. It's 1st and 10. I don't know who is their quarterback now with our boy out. I'm trying to think, is it Washington or Johnson or something like that's his name? But swing pass, little lead swing outside, and the Commanders pick up a first down. Come on, Commanders. Let's go.
Not Mariota? I thought Mariota was there.
Well, he's not playing though. Here lately they've been playing this other cat. I don't know. It says Johnson, whoever that is. So Josh Johnson is his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Last week he had a career high against earmuff it here. SA 8.6 yards per pass attempt last week against Dallas, career high. So Dallas's defense continues to get worse without Micah, obviously, and now without Trayvon Diggs. So that's a good question. Joe says, isn't Philly resting everyone? I hope they are, but I think they have a chance to improve their seeding too, Joe. I'm not sure, though, if you guys want to fact check that for us. I greatly appreciate that. So let's see here. Is there anything else you guys want to hit in terms of the Packers-Vikings game, or do y'all want to just kind of keep this conversation going?
Well, it's over with. We got that going for us.
Why don't we run through the box score real quick? This is going to be very, very, very uneventful, but let's do it anyway. So like we said, Clayton Tune, 6 of 11 for 34 yards, although the sacks were the reason I didn't think he had a good game. Like taking those sacks, especially when it knocked you out of field goal range early, is like you just can't do that. I don't care if you're playing all the backups or not. That's something that's supposed to be ingrained into who you are as a quarterback, that you never take a third down sack that pushes you out of field goal range, right? That's just a big no-no there. But nonetheless, J.J. McCarthy, 14 of 23 for 182 yards passing. To me, he looked bad, boys. I don't know about y'all. And he just acts so weird, too. Like, when he got that first down and he got up and got called for taunting, and the official grabbed him like, hey, get back to your huddle, and he acted like the official was assaulting him. Did you see him? He was like shaking and falling away. I'm like, what's wrong with this dude? He's really strange like that. Tries to,
that
right?
official might have saved his life. Yeah. I don't think another 2 or 3 seconds of that, Keyshawn wasn't going to tolerate that. We already know that.
Yeah.
Doesn't have that big Michigan O-line protecting him, Clay.
Yep.
And that running game too, right? Yeah.
Coach Len hits it on the head. JJ McCarthy is cringe.
I'm telling you, it's just something that's, you guys know what I'm talking about. Y'all have got one, and everybody's friends group's got one, right? They're always welcome to all events, but man, at least 2 or 3 times at said event, you're like, all right, man, just shut up, dude. You really, I don't think you realize just how low your social IQ is. So, yeah, Stephanie in the chat says JJ McCarthy's a goober. When do quarterbacks taunt? Yeah. Exactly, right. And that's what the announcers were talking about too. So, running the ball, Chris Brooks 13 carries for 61 yards. Emmanuel Wilson 18 carries for 44 yards. I love E-Will, but that minus 19-yard run was just
Lord.
You can't do that. Just can't do it, man.
I was waiting for him to just give himself up and just fall down and take the 5-yard loss, not the 17-yard loss.
I thought that was a kick return. Honestly, I walked away. I came around the corner and I looked and I was like, 2nd and 30. What just happened?
I think he thought he was going to be able to switch the field once he realized that play was absolutely blown up and he was knocked back. I think he was thinking maybe I can cut it back, and then all hell broke loose back there.
Yeah, definitely. Coach Lynn said he is not good enough to act the way he does.
Oh, right? McCarthy, right?
Yeah. No, E. Wilson, dog. JJ, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's talking about McCarthy. Yeah,
E. Wilson, dog. JJ McCarthy, puppy.
The old saying, be who you can afford to be, right? Like some people can get away with acting like that. But yeah. Sushi Bagel in the house says, but was he really playing against true NFL caliber quarterbacks today? I don't know if he's talking about there. Were we talking about a specific defensive player maybe? Or regardless, it holds true on either side of the ball, no matter which team you're talking about, right? There wasn't really an NFL caliber quarterback playing in that game, in my opinion. So, but yeah, it was a tough watch, man. I ain't gonna lie. There was a couple of times I was sitting there like I found myself just scrolling on my phone, and that never.
Well, I mean, they were saying McCarthy had a fracture in his throwing hand, right? He was dealing with, that must have been from patting himself on the back too much, and he got a fracture. So that might explain some of the poor throws today.
Yeah, United Bates says JJ practiced all week in the mirror.
Dude, I want that picture to come back out where he's got the one in the locker room and then they put Caleb's face over him. Oh my God, those are unbelievable.
Every quarterback who's played bad at some point this year has had their face transposed onto JJ McCarthy's body at some point, which is absolutely hilarious. So, oh man. Running the ball, like we said, Clayton Tune, there's the 4 scrambles that Coach Lynn was talking about, 4 for 23, right? Pretty good there on the ground in terms of just making things happen with your legs. Jordan Mason, I kind of talked about this in the pregame show. I didn't think they would miss Aaron Jones. Jordan Mason, I feel like, is a better running back than Aaron, at least today at their points in their career. Jordan Mason, 14 carries for 94 yards. Ty Chandler, 10 for 23. Nothing really to talk about too much there. JJ had a pretty good day there. Justin Jefferson, 8 catches, 101 yards. No surprise, right? Did he get any catches on Trayvon Diggs? I don't remember him having a catch on Trayvon. It just seemed like he was always on the opposite side of the field. But
yeah, I don't think we saw them lined up more than once or twice maybe together.
Right. And we probably wasn't just playing straight man coverage. I imagine we were playing some pretty vanilla spot drop most of the day.
I feel like we didn't see very, very much man at all today. Very little to no man looks.
Yeah. And I know many people wanted to see Matthew Golden play, and I get it and everything, but on the day he was targeted 3 times, had 1 catch for 8 yards. And again, it didn't feel like you were truly – I didn't see – and I'm sure they were there just at a minute amount. I didn't see any dagger concepts right off the bat. I don't remember seeing any slot crosses. I don't remember seeing any wolf. To me, it felt very spacing-based, like, hey, let's try to run the ball. If they take the run away, we'll just dink and dunk it underneath. Okay, immediate pressure, roll out. Now it becomes a scramble drill. So that's why I don't – even the receiving stats here, I don't put a whole lot of stock in. But Matthew Golden, 3 targets, 1 catch for 8 yards. So again, hopefully he can put it together. Hopefully he gets more opportunities as well. But you gotta get down. You gotta hammer down that choice aspect of the offense before that happens for sure. So defensively, Jamin Johnson was the linebacker we were kind of talking about in the pregame. So we were right there, Tim. The 3 linebackers ended up being Tyron Hopper, Isaiah McDuffie, and Jamin Johnson. Do we have anything on Hopper, Emilio? You may have pointed that out earlier. I apologize.
Yeah. No, you're good. I don't think I said it. I tried to avoid it for a second there, but Mr. Hopper, no, I think I did. Second from the bottom, 67 total snaps. He had a 43-8 overall, 45-4 run defense, 29-7 tackling. That's really what brought him down bad. Pass rush, 54-5, covered 52-4. I'm not mad at him. He had 2 total pressures, 2 hurries, it looks like. But I'm glad Hopper got some burn, really. We just need to get him out there. 3rd round pick, you got to see what he's got. You got to get him chances, and it's not like he gets him out there when Quay and Cooper are out there, because McDuffie's that third backer to come in anyway. So just good to get him out there, get some reps, learn from it. Good tape watch stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And Coach Lynn says, was Stenovich calling plays today? I'm not sure who was calling the plays, Coach. I do know this. There was a couple of times that they showed the camera on Matt LaFleur, and just reading his body language and his facial expressions, and he looked at the field, walked away. It was like he wasn't as animated as he usually is. To me, it looked like a man that was like,